Behaviorism began in about 1910, but it continued on until around 1960. While John Watson began behaviorism, it was B.F. Skinner that carried the torch until the end. He was born in Pennsylvania, went to college in Hamilton College in upstate New York, and got his PhD from Harvard University, where he later became a professor. To understand B.F. Skinner's thinking, it's important to review some of the basic tenets of behaviorism that he held dear. The first was the tabula rasa. The mind is a blank slate. At birth, we come into the world knowing nothing, but it's our life experience, our learning, that creates knowledge in our minds. This view was also held by Aristotle and the philosopher John Locke. A second major belief by the behaviorist was that there were no mental states. So when we think about stimulus and response, you and I might think that in between there is a mental state in which we think, I want to do that, or that would be interesting, or I expect food to come. But the behaviorist did not assume that there were mental states. In between the S and the R was nothing, no mental state. Skinner was heavily influenced by the prior work of Edward Thorndike. Thorndike did many studies with cats, putting them in boxes and seeing if they could flip the switch that would open the door. He would change the position of the switch over time. He found, Thorndike did, that successful behaviors get repeated. So if you hit the switch one way one time and got out, then the next time you're put in a box, you will try that one again. But your unsuccessful behaviors do not get repeated as much. He called this the law of effect. Successful behaviors get repeated. It was coined about 1908. B.F. Skinner's monumental achievement in his life's work was the proposal of a second form of conditioning, this one called operant conditioning. In his view, operants were naturally occurring behaviors, and with manipulations, one could increase the likelihood of that behavior occurring or decrease the likelihood of that behavior occurring. The term reinforcement is used to describe anything that could be applied that would increase the likelihood of the operant occurring. A punishment refers to anything you can apply that would decrease the likelihood of the operant occurring. Reinforcement and punishment have both positive versions and negative versions. So for example, positive reinforcement is anytime something is applied to increase the likelihood of a behavior. Negative reinforcement means something is taken away in efforts to increase the likelihood of behavior. And in contrast, positive punishment means something is applied to reduce the likelihood of a behavior. And negative punishment means something is taken away, but in efforts to reduce the likelihood of behavior. Here's a real-world example. Imagine you go shopping with a toddler, and the toddler behaves really well the whole time you're shopping. And now you want to see, can you increase the likelihood that that good behavior will happen in the future? Well, you can use positive reinforcement. Apply something that the child is going to like and see as a reward. A gold star, a candy bar, a really nice time at the park. This reward could increase the likelihood that the child will behave well in the shopping center next time. But what if you go shopping and the toddler throws a tantrum? You want to reduce the likelihood that this will occur in the future. What do? Well, you could use positive punishment and scold the child. The scolding and the negative emotion is likely to reduce the possibility that the child will throw a tantrum in the future. Imagine you go shopping with the child and the child behaves really well, and you want to increase the likelihood of that behavior with negative reinforcement. Well, that means then you take something away in efforts to increase the likelihood of the behavior. So you might take away something negative like chores. You were so good today, you don't have to do the chores today. So how would negative punishment work? Well, the child might throw the tantrum while you're shopping, and you want to reduce the frequency of tantrums. So you might take something away, such as something good. So because you were bad today, then you get no TV. That's all for now.